dear parents and guardians, good day. For a school to be successful, it is necessary that a harmonious relationship is present among students, parents and guardians, teachers, and administrators. As such, we thank you all for taking time and joining us in this Parents Orientation as part of the opening of the academic year 2022 to 2023. This orientation is an opportunity for our dear parents and guardians to be fully informed about the important plans, policies, and updates in our school. Once again, good day. For this orientation, the following would be our agenda. First would be the introduction of the school staffs and teachers, followed by the discussion of the modes of instructional learning, followed by the learning setup to be used, the books and reference materials, the school uniform and PE uniform, the different school policies, the test schedules, the discussion on the MS Teams account for online instructions, the cancellation of classes during calamities, the grading system, the student award system, and the question and answer portion. Please note that as this is a pre-recorded discussion, your questions and other concerns shall be addressed at the latter part of this orientation. As we continue to adapt to the changes in the educational setups due to the pandemic, it is important that we become familiar with the latest updates and changes in our learning modalities. As such, let us now discuss the different learning instructions that we're going to use for this particular academic year. For this year, there would be two modes of instructional learning. We have the synchronous classes and asynchronous classes. Synchronous classes means having real-time interaction of students and teachers. In synchronous classes, students are engaged in learning activities at the same time. It should also be noted that in synchronous classes, the sessions or discussions will be done through video conference, teleconference, live chatting, and/or live streaming of lectures via MS Teams. In asynchronous classes, there is no real-time interaction with other people. Another characteristic of asynchronous classes is that students can learn at their own pace and time or within the given time frame. In asynchronous classes, the learning materials may include pre-recorded videos or lectures, demonstrations, lecture notes, text-based lecture notes, and/or self-guided lesson modules via MS Teams or Messenger. For this year, there would be two types of learning setup. We have the online classes and face-to-face classes. Online classes would be the synchronous or online classes which are done via MS Teams. In online classes, the students are required to join the session using their own MS Teams account in order to have their attendance recorded. Now, the links and accounts are going to be provided by each respective teacher or advisor. For face-to-face classes, the assessments and evaluation are going to be done in school. These assessments include learning activities, quizzes, performance tasks, and major examinations such as the prelims and periodical tests. It is important to take note of the following. First, all students will have their personal MS Teams accounts. Students will have access to learning materials through their MS Teams. All students are required to have their cameras on and have a functioning audio when they attend their scheduled synchronous or online classes via MS Teams. The subject content discussions will be done during synchronous or online classes, and activities will conform to the new normal setting. As such, students will still have individual works and DIY performance tasks. For our books and reference materials, students are required to have a complete set of textbooks or workbooks as reference materials. Other reference materials will also be sent by the subject teacher if needed. At this point, we shall now be discussing the different school policies for this academic year. For the school uniform, for girls grades 1 to 6, the following is required. They should wear a white blouse with embroidered school patch on the collar, the checkered chaleco, a lined pleated skirt, white socks, and black leather shoes. For boys grades 1 to 3, the following is required. They should wear a white polo jacket with embroidered school patch, dark blue shorts, white socks, and black leather shoes. For boys grades 4 to 6, they should wear white polo jacket with embroidered school patch, dark blue pants, white socks, and black leather shoes. For our preschool students, the following is required. For boys, they should wear white polo and checkered chaleco with embroidered school patch, checkered shorts, white socks, and black leather shoes. For girls, they should wear a light blue checkered dress with embroidered school patch on the collar, white socks, and black leather shoes. It should also be noted that students are also required to wear their PE uniform during synchronous or online classes. For our test schedules, the first preliminary test shall be from September 22nd to 24th, 2022. The first periodical test shall be from October 20th to 22nd, 2022. Please note that the dates for the succeeding examination for second, third, and fourth grading periods shall be announced in the future. At this point, we shall now discuss some details with regard to the MS Teams account of our students. For the MS Teams account for online instructions, please be informed that all students will have their own MS Teams account that must be used for synchronous or online classes. Additionally, instructional materials and announcements will be posted through the following platforms. First is through the official Facebook group chat created by your child's school advisor. Second is through the MS Teams of each section. And finally is through the new official Facebook page of Smart Kids Incorporated. In line with this, please take note that each class advisor shall be sending the link to the new official Facebook page of Smart Kids Incorporated for you to follow in order to be updated with the latest announcements. You may also contact Smart Kids Incorporated through the following contact details. Additionally, for parents who would like to learn more about the MS Teams and how to use it, the links for the MS Teams tutorial will be sent by the class advisors. Now we shall discuss about the concerns with regard to the cancellation or suspension of classes. First would be the automatic cancellation or suspension of classes. All concerned DepEd officials and personnel are directed to observe the weather bulletins of the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA, announced through various media outlets such as the radio, television, and the internet. In cases of typhoons, in-person and online classes in all levels are automatically cancelled in schools situated in local government units issued with tropical cyclone wind signals 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 by the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration, also known as PAGASA. In cases of heavy rainfall, in-person and online classes in all levels are automatically cancelled in schools situated in LGUs issued with yellow, orange, and red rainfall warning by the PAGASA. On the event that there is a flood, in-person and online classes in all levels are automatically cancelled in schools situated in LGUs issued with a flood warning by the PAGASA. Please note that if the warning signal is issued at a time when classes have already begun, the school shall immediately suspend the classes and work and send everyone home if it is safe to do so. However, schools are obligated to keep the students and personnel safely in school if traveling has become unsafe. More importantly, local chief executives shall decide on the cancellation or suspension of classes in cases where there are strong winds, floodings, and torrential rains in specific or all areas of the LGU which is not due to a typhoon or an issued warning from Pagasa. In case of earthquakes, in-person and online classes in all levels are automatically cancelled in schools situated in LGUs where the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology declare an earthquake with PHIVOLCS earthquake intensity scale 5 or above. Local chief executives shall decide on the cancellation or suspension of classes in cases where the PEIS is 4 and below. School principals can cancel classes at any intensity scale if in their assessment, building and other structures are seen to be in danger of collapsing or is found to have major damage. Prior to the resumption of classes after an earthquake, the School Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Team head should clear the return of students and personnel in buildings and other structures. Any decision to cancel or suspend classes must come from the local government. A school head may only cancel or suspend classes in cases where urgent action is needed to prevent loss of life or bodily harm. Now at this point, we shall now discuss the K-12 grading system which will be used for this school year. The grading system is divided into three major components, namely the written work, which is 40%, the performance task, which is 40%, and the quarterly assessment, which is 20%. To further understand the grading system, let's look at this example. As mentioned earlier, we have the following components. We have written works with prelims and quizzes having 20% each. Performance task is divided into three subcomponents, namely portfolio with 10%, alternative assessment with 10%, and individual authentic assessment with 20%. And the final 20% is given to quarterly assessment. We also have the following example here, which gives us the initial score of 80.88. Take note that the initial grade computed is not the final grade, rather it's the basis for the transmuted grade as recommended by the Department of Education. Let's look at the sample computation for determining the percentage score in the components. The formula for the percentage score would be the learner's total raw score divided by the highest possible score multiplied by the percentage or weight of the component. For example, when determining the percentage score for the quizzes, we have the following. Say for example, a student got a 73 over 100. Since quizzes would have a 20% distribution in the component, we multiply the score by 20%. As such, we have 0.73 multiplied by 20%, which leads us to the percentage score of 14.6. The final grade of the students will be based on the transmutation table provided by the Department of Education. Provided here is another sample computation for each of the components. Say for example, a student got a score or weighted score of 26.665 for written work, 33.485 for performance task, and 15 for the quarterly exam. After the computation, the initial grade that is computed is 75.15. When transmuted, the transmuted grade is considered to be 84. This quarterly grade in math for the first quarter, which is 84, is then reflected in the report card. Now the question is, how do we know the transmuted grade? It is important to note that the transmutation table used, as recommended by the Department of Education, follows a bracketing system. In the earlier example, we got initial grade of 75.15. Based on this table, 75.15 falls under the bracket of 74.40 to 75.99, which is equivalent to 84. As such, the final transmuted grade of the student for this particular grading period is 84. Now, in order to determine the final grade by learning area, we simply get the average by adding the first quarter grade, the second quarter grade, the third quarter grade, and the fourth quarter grade, and divide it into 4. For example, we have 85 for the first quarter, 80 for the second quarter, 79 for the third quarter, and 83 for the fourth quarter. Divided by 4, we have the final average of 81.75. The same formula is applied for the general average. In determining the general average, we have the sum of final grades of all learning areas divided by the total number of learning areas in a grade level. Let's look at this example here. As mentioned earlier, we simply add all the final grades, then divide it by the total number of subjects to get the general average. For example, we have 86 from science, 87 from mathematics, 88 from Filipino, 90 from English, 88 from Araling Panlipunan, 89 from EPP, 90 from ESP, and 88 from MAPE. After adding the following, we have a total of 706 divided by 8 subjects. We now have the general average of 88. As stated in the aforementioned DepEd order, the grade level awards are duly given to qualified learners for every grade level at the end of the school year. The grade level awards are as follows. For subject awards, we have Best in Language, Best in MAPE, Best in English, Best in Filipino, Best in Science, Best in Mathematics, Best in Araling Panlipunan, Best in TLE, Best in Reading, and Best in Mother Tongue. Some important reminders regarding the general use for the use of the group chat. First, it is important to use a profile picture and name that is appropriate for the school purpose. Also, avoid sending irrelevant messages, as the GC created by the school staff is for school function only. Third, it is important to deliver all forms of communication politely. Observe proper academic behavior when using the GC, and of course, for questions or clarifications, you may contact your teacher through a private message.